This is Limitless KRGNN, and we're doing another Pro review. And this is from Juukou B Fighter B Commander Complete Edition Premium Bandai. Ooh, that's a big title. And this is from the original Japanese version of Juukou B Fighter. Oh, as if you live here in the US or parts of the other part of the world, that probably did see the American Fox version of Big Bad Beetleborgs. But yeah, so I don't really know that much about the original Japanese version. I know it's just Metal Hero series through Toa, and the storylines are really crazy and they're very interesting. I don't want to get into it. I just know that there's some invaders trying to invade from a parallel universe or dimension, and then there's pretty much this community college or community American Science something builds these suits with the help of this giant beetle that gives it the life force, that gives them power up their suits, and then picks individually the person who suits them, and that's these three. Of the only two that I know by name, I think, is the blue beetle and then G Stinger. The red one's can't remember the top of my head right now, but yeah. But it does come with three original voice actors that came out on the show, one being the blue and the green, and the professor. Sadly, the female did not come out. Don't know why. I don't know any story about that, but yeah, just to give you a heads up on one of that. So now let's open this baby up and get a better look inside. So this is how it comes when it opens up. It shows all the 6 figures, 3 of the color and then 3 see-through color ones, because in the show they do glow before they transform, and they added that, and there's a little display it comes with right there. And pretty much each slot for each of the, so you can change forms for the red, the green, and the blue. And it triggers different sounds when you put them together, but yeah. So let's get a better look at it. Now, detail on this are very nice, very scope, very nice painted. Sadly, there's so much scope in this, but you can't really see it because of the color blending in, but yeah, it has a nice glossy shape to it. I wish there was a little bit of weathering so you can see the nice detail. The only one I know is the blue beetle. That's the title. As the other two, I forgot the names. Sorry, again, I haven't seen the original Japanese version. I could be G Stinger. I think that's what it's called. This one, the green one. I could be wrong. The red one has has a weird name, and I can't remember it on top of my head right now. Again, these are not articulated compared to the original the original ones that came out in the 90s. They're just one solid plastic, but nice detail. I wish I had a little bit more black weathering just for the scope to stick out more, because you could tell it has a really nice detail, but because it blends in with the color you can't really see it unless you focus. Now let's get a better look at the see-through ones. The see-through ones I think are the same mold as the regular color ones. They have a unique cool blue, as I can see. They are the same mold, but yet they give it that option, because in the show when they transform, the little suit in the B Commander does glow. And I guess they wanted to capture that, and that's really cool that they did that. But pretty much it's the same mold, just in a see-through plastic color. I'm just showing you the difference between them, yes. And it makes sense why the slot in the back of that is too, so the light can bounce through it, or you can light up. And again, so these are the slots. Each has an individual slots in there. You can see there's a hole right there, and with that clicks into it, it triggers the sounds for that one character. As in this one has no slots, so it doesn't trigger for that character. And then the final one has see how it usually slides off. See, it has a little hole right there in that slot right there. So yeah, and just to try the comparison. All right, so let's actually get a better look at the B Commander now. Alright guys, so I'm gonna warn you now, I'm not gonna do all the sound effects on this, because it has at least less or more of 100 characteristics from 3 of the 4 actors from the show, It's just it's just gonna waste too much time. The main thing I got this is for the sound effects of the henshin, the the transforming. I will trigger some of the sound effects for you guys, but not all of them. So on and on switch is right here, and it's one of those ones where you push the button to slide the slid, and it makes a noise once you. I was already had it on. Sorry about that. And that's the noise it makes once you activate it. And then if you leave it alone for a bit, actually the guy who I think who plays the professor in the show, he'll start beeping. In this mode, it does do the Blue Beetle sound effects, and it plays the theme song from the show. If you take this off, that's another thing that to trigger the other sound effects. That's how it just slides out. It kind of like clicks on, clicks off. In this mode, it doesn't do anything, and the voice of the professor comes out, and also the on and the trigger all the sounds. It's right here. There's two buttons right here. You guys can see that, and he just repeats that. And the button is similar to the original toy. The difference is it's just one solid plastic. I guess you guys can see that. So it's like in the toy it's two buttons, but they trigger the same thing. Yeah, see? So I'm gonna put it back. And if you leave it alone for a bit, it actually starts beeping, like it's kind of like calling. Let's wait for that. Or let's just cut through. And it doesn't. Yeah. So that's what happens if you leave it alone for a bit. If you want to trigger the sound, the music, the opening music, I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. I have only seen a couple episodes. I don't know the whole deal. I know the basic story of the whole show, but. So that's the main character, the Blue Beetle. And here's the sounds for the opening music, I guess. So that's it. I'm not going to try to play the whole song. I don't want to get copyright by, YouTube. So, to pretty much... You see that? I kind of just ruined that for you guys. So let's do that again. This time with the Blue Beetle. Now let's try it with the see-through one. Alright, so let's put the stinger head on. So it changed the voices now. It's G Stinger, the second actor. Let's see right there. So you just want to change body. It's not that bad. It has a little clicking thing, and you're good. And pretty much. You see that? So I noticed if you leave it alone with that figure inside, it does trigger like a sounds by itself. Just keep that in mind. If you think it's off and it's still on with the figure inside, I guess it triggers sounds. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know the menus in Japanese. I could try to translate it. But man, this thing has a lot of functions for something this size. It's pretty crazy. Like I said, I'm not gonna get all deep into it, but I'm just showing you guys if you are interested in getting one. But man, that is like right now. Look at this. It's just a sample showing you. This thing has so many functions. That's crazy. Yeah. So it does all of that by itself with a figure trigger inside. I'm guessing that's why. When the figure's put in there, I guess it pushes and activates the sound. But yeah, so let me take this out. Take this thing out. And for the final one, sadly, here's when it gets a little sad. So the woman who played her, I guess, I don't know what happened, but she didn't come back to do this. And it's sad. So I guess what he did is, they got lines of the two guys talking to her or calling her out. And that's kind of whack. In that part, I don't know why, but maybe I don't know. I don't know. Something went wrong there, or a deal, license, or she just didn't want to do it no more. Oh, I don't know. We'll never know. But yeah, so let's do her sound now. So again, this is not her. Let's understand. See? So she's the only one that didn't come back to do the recording, because I remember when they were doing like the promotion and the demo through Bandai and their website. She was the only one who didn't come out. So yeah, that's really that's a really bum out, especially if you're a really hardcore fan and you want to hear all the three original characters. Just keep in mind, they're not gonna have her. They're just gonna have the other two characters keep calling her name, I guess from the scenes from the show. It's a little bum, especially you're gonna pay a lot of money for that. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm not gonna try to do the whole 100% like detail work on that when it comes to the sound effects on this. Just the basic. But yeah. That's it. Again, this is not a video to show you every function this thing has, and it has a lot of functions. It's just to show you the basic stuff of when it comes to actually the sound effects. So let's talk about the good and the bad and how much it costs. So this is retailing for what it came out pre-order through Bandai was about $96 plus tax. Sadly, is not going for that price. I've seen it online through pre-orders through eBay and other websites for about $170 to $190 to $200 to even $300. I even seen it on Big Bad Toy Store for pre-orders for $199 and already sold out. Yeah, so just keep in mind it's gonna be very pricey. Now you're curious how much I got it for. I got it for at least $130, and that's with shipping. And because I pre-ordered through a small website company from Japan, I got very lucky, and that's how I got it. I pre-ordered since March. So if you can get it for a good deal, it's definitely must have. And I think this is one of those times that this is probably it's gonna raise in value over time, because there's not much big bag beatable stuff out there as it is. Or B-Fighter Kabuto, but what they are pretty expensive at price, as already all the old stuff, even B Commander or B Back before is goes for a lot on eBay, the 90s version. So just keep that in mind. So this is going to be very high in demand and very pricey. So the only negative I think I have for this is I wish the body was die-cast metal, at least have a little bit more weight to it, because I feel like if it falls, it may break. But other than that, everything else is nice. The scope, the paint, and the detail on this is just beautiful. I love it. I'm gonna have it displayed with the box sometimes, and sometimes I'm gonna have it displayed without the box. But I'm happy I got this. I hope you liked this video. This is Limitless KRGN signing out. Like I always say, keep collecting, and adios. Bye.